Welcome to the Overheard podcast, recorded live in Banff. My name is Dan. With me always, my wonderful co-host, Matty Rage.
Matty Rage over here. Let's go.
Our guest this week, what can we say? Longtime Banff local, father, husband, all-around electric guy. Ooh. We got Aaron Patocs here. How you doing today, my man?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Let's go, Aaron.
Okay.
So how was everybody's week? What was good? What'd you get up to, Dan?
My week was pretty sick, man.
Nice.
What did I do? Played some golf, paddleboarded a bit, went out this morning to Two Jack, beat the rush, got there 9 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Set up the hammock, got the paddleboard out, spent a little hour there, soaking up some sun, having some coffee. It was pretty awesome.
Cool. Aaron?
Same as always, just a lot of work, a little bit of golf,
Nice.
and referee hockey on Tuesday nights.
Where are you golfing at these days?
Banff Springs.
Best rings?
There
Yeah,
you go.
Tunnel 9.
Hell yeah.
Dan, how'd you do this week on the old links there?
Not great. I feel
No?
like I played after work. I never play great after work, later in the day.
Oh, yeah,
There's
you're
a lot
already
of
tired.
factors. Yeah, already tired.
You just
Head's
kinda
not
wanna-
super into it.
You just kind of want to go home.
Yeah, and it's
Secretly.
there's a couple factors that make it tougher to play at the end of the day, like the greens are faster, less
Oh, okay.
receptive, that kind of stuff for sure.
That's why I suck.
Yeah,
I was in the afternoon.
I've played my better rounds
We go
always
in
in the
the
morning.
morning.
Maybe it's just a mental
That's
thing.
a
That's a
key,
hardwood
eh?
floor, right?
Yeah, 100, especially hole 1, tunnel 9. Forget about it. What about you, Matt? What you been up to?
Same. Just work is busy. Well, not really. We had a pretty decent week with the Stampede there.
Stampede.
Pretty mellow in the kitchen. Did a little bit of DJing.
Nice.
Getting ready for the live gig there in August for the old barbecue. But
Hell yeah.
should be good. Other than that, just kind of hanging out with the cat, chilling about the house, man. You know me. I'm simple.
You're a house cat yourself a little bit, I'd
Yeah.
say.
I chill at home, man. When I go out, I just put the VR on and go. But that's how I roll.
Right on. Well, we got Aaron in here. Let's jump into a little bit of our kind of interview portion. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself for those that don't know you?
Yeah, I'm 40 years old.
No.
Yeah, believe that.
Get
Just
out of
turned-
town.
We have the same birthday.
I know. I
$2.29.
noticed that
Great.
this year.
Yeah.
29.
How old are you?
I just turned 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nice.
So-
I'll be 40.
Same.
I'll be 40 this year. Don't feel bad.
All right, 84. And yeah, just family man, just live at home.
Right on. Are you living in Banff now? Or?
Yeah, we kind of bounced back and forth. We were in Canmore for a bit.
Right.
Don't recommend it.
Oh.
No?
Not our experience. We lived on Palliser Lane,
Oh, okay.
and at the time we were the only building there,
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was just misery. It was just
out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
You're kind of like in the desert,
yeah.
like right in the middle of the valley
or like
there.
on an island or something, right?
Some sweet disc golf right on your doorstep, though. But
Oh.
I never played there.
No?
I think I just didn't know about it then, or maybe it wasn't there then.
It's like,
We went out to Three Sisters all the time.
yeah,
Nice.
it's a pirate course. It doesn't have actual baskets, so it's not
We
the
throw into like
best.
a rusty car door. Or something.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
100%.
cool.
Here, we can use
That's
this
cool,
if you
dude.
want.
I don't want it closer.
No, you're good.
So where are you from originally?
From Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, the old Hamilton. Who
yeah.
else was from Hamilton we had on here? Someone else
A lot
said
of
they
people
were.
are from
Dave
there.
Reg.
I don't know. No, he was from Windsor.
He was from
I
Windsor.
was gonna say Windsor and Hamilton are like the
Yeah.
two key places to.
Because I remember going every time. I'm like,
Exit.
oh, I used to bowl at the Hamilton Bowl. I used to do bowling tournaments there.
We'll have to go back,
Yeah.
dive back into the catalog, figure out who is from Hamilton. What brought you here? When did you get to Banff?
So it's been about 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just over. So 2009, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I got here in 2009 myself.
So you're local now?
I guess so. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
Do I qualify?
I mean, you have a family here. I'd say it's, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Depends who you ask, though. That's always a fucking.
You weren't born here.
Was it last week or the week before with that parking post? I think
Oh,
it was going off about being a true local.
That got
You need a
heated,
tattoo.
bro.
What's a true local?
You need
Yeah,
a-
you need to have the
Rundle, the Rundle, the classic Rundle
you
tattoo.
need the Rundle range tatted on
Oh
your arm.
yeah. So what brought you out here? Just
So I had I still have a friend, but I had a friend from college.
cool.
He met a girl on vacation in the Caribbean or something. She was based out of Calgary. And then so when they went back their separate ways, he tried his best to come out here and found a job in Banff. So
Okay.
that's awesome. And then convinced the girl and me and my wife to all move out to Banff together. So,
Nice.
Sick.
so they
Common
didn't
story.
last in Banff, didn't last as a couple, but we did. We're still here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's crazy.
15 my
Like,
way.
I remember 2009, I was right around the time I got here. I think I remember meeting you guys long
Yeah,
time
yeah.
ago when you're still in the kind of the bar scene and that kind of stuff.
Whoa.
Well, a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
long time. Whoa. Like Dan
Um,
hasn't been there himself in a couple of years, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while now. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. This is kind of like, especially with the KevDev episode, this is kind of why I like doing the show, because it kind of reminds me of sitting at the bar and chatting with the boys, kind of like I used to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get that anymore.
You don't have to be wasted or at a bar being uncomfortable.
For sure. Now I can remember it and go back to it. You know, it's like, anyways. So you've been here since 2009, raised a family here. What do you love most about living in Banff, Bow Valley?
Well, I mean, if you've been to Hamilton,
no doubt.
Yeah, Banff is beautiful. It's a great place to live, and yeah, actually both of my brothers lived in Banff for a while. But my brother Andrew, he lived just during like the 2010 Olympics.
Okay,
and he was saying like, I think he went out one night, saw like a broken window. Next day he went, it was repaired and replaced. Saw graffiti. Next day he went out, it was completely gone. And he's like, there's still graffiti behind our house where we grew up from like the 90s. It's still there from the 90s,
yeah.
right? So that's Banff is kind of like a Pleasantville environment, but it is still beautiful, and I love it.
It definitely does have that like Pleasantville vibe for sure, with like the cleanup crews every night, like 6 a.m. or some town of Banff's out there.
Yeah, I'm usually out at that time too.
Well, I said the same thing. Like the buses, are like super clean. You don't see cigarette butts like in London. Like when I lived in London for 10 years, you'd see guys like walking the curb just looking for butts because they were like literally everywhere, dude. And it is that Pleasantville kind of vibe. Yeah. Like I get it.
Also, there's no like scary weirdos on the buses here.
Yeah. There's no there's no dudes drinking out of bottles trying to like put their hands down their pants or whatever they're doing. It's like, you know,
I feel like it's just a more comfortable place to sit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the major cities, you know. Yeah, definitely. We do have that kind of sheltered life of not being exposed to kind of the underbelly that comes with living in a major city. Definitely,
you just get used to it. Like, and the longer you're here, right? Like,
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong, I do love Hamilton.
Yeah.
For anyone in Hamilton watching, Hamilton's like your relative, your sketchy relative. We still love him, but
it's like your sketchy.
We talk the most shit about him.
Like your uncle that's been to prison.
Yeah. Sketchy cousin that rides a weird dirt bike on the road.
When other people talk bad about him.
For sure.
Then we talk more shit than anyone else.
I got this uncle, let me tell you. Anyways. I won't get into it in case he's listening, but
so what do you do outside of work for fun when you're not working?
So I play golf. I'm a Tunnel 9 member.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Play hockey.
Cool.
I referee hockey. I just kind of started that in my old age.
Yeah, that's sick.
How'd you get into that? Just playing and not wanting to get crushed into the boards anymore?
No. So it was an issue with my work schedule. I couldn't commit to playing in the league.
Okay.
And then they just asked me, hey, if you're free, can you referee? And then I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And they pay you a little bit of money. I don't know the exact amount, but
yeah, we don't need to mention exact amount.
We don't need to get
maybe it's like $50 a game or something. Right?
At least they pay you for your time,
yeah.
right?
I would probably do it for free. Don't tell them, but it's like the workout, and it's different than playing hockey because you're out there the entire hour, right? You're skating your butt off for the whole time, and
that's a good workout.
And yeah,
did you ever have anyone like freak out at you being the ref?
Some of our friends. Some of our friends give me.
Well, it's even worse when you're reffing your buddies too, because they're like, screw you, dude. Like, see me after the game. I know where you drink, bro.
Exactly.
Like, is there any stories you'd like to share with us?
No. For the most part, it's kind of like a Tommy's private league. It's
okay. Cool. I think I know. Yeah,
he's got 4 teams, so everyone's pretty much friends with each other.
Pretty chill,
and I'm
sure.
friends with most of them too. So it's never too bad. But
okay, nice. I think I know which league you're talking about. And the guys in that league are. There's like seasoned beer league type dudes. Yeah, I think they would do a good job.
I think it's like invite only.
Yeah,
definitely. League, so I think
cool.
Yeah,
that's even cooler.
Yeah, I used to play in the men's league for a little bit here, and some games just get out of control. And you're like, man, we're all here just to have fun. We all have to work tomorrow. Like nobody wants to leave on a stretcher,
right?
We just want to like dangle a couple dudes and go home. Like
a couple dirty dangles, 6 Ellie, go home.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of why I quit the league. Honestly, I just was like,
I'm just not good at skating.
This is back in like the no hit league.
Yeah, like the no hit league. I don't want to name again. Same. Like I don't want to name my team because like it was a bit intense. But I only played a couple games, and I was like, you know what? I couldn't really like risk because I work in restaurants, right? I'm a server, so like
this is your moneymaker.
Booking nights. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lose any teeth or that? But no, it's like booking a day off of work. Spending money, you know what I mean, like booking a day off work to go spend $1,000 on like 8 weeks of hockey or whatever, just didn't really fit in the cards for me. Anyways,
you know how it goes.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
So I work for a contract company. We do security for hotels and residences. Sometimes some other projects like construction sites.
Okay, cool.
And so we have a lot of clients: Canmore, Banff, Kananaskis,
Right on.
out there. Yeah. So
So it keeps you busy. That's why this episode is named On Patrol, because we've seen, I think you just tried to send me a cool video of some stuff that you've seen kind of on the road.
Oh, the grizzly bear?
Yeah, the grizzly bear. That was wild.
That was recently. And yeah, I was just cruising. It was kind of nasty rain, and I had my dash cam going. And so I'm having a hard time. There's cars coming towards me, blinding me.
Yeah.
And then a car passed me, and then within like 5 seconds, a big grizzly bear just kind of walked right out in front of me. I was going a little under. I was going like 88 into 90. Hit the brakes, and luckily didn't hit it because I heard they make a mess.
Yeah, I mean, not only to your car, but I mean, you're out there in the rain, middle of the night. It was pretty early in the morning, right?
No, it was like 10 at night.
Okay.
10:30 at night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then you got a pissed off grizzly
right?
bear.
If you don't kill it, you got to finish it off. Or
I didn't even think of that.
yeah, right.
What do you do?
Your car's disabled. Woo.
And you've seen how quickly they
way.
can get into a car, right? Like I think we've all seen those videos. Like, damn. So that keeps you out there. What are you doing? I guess you're on the road a lot. You usually have your dash cam rolling, or
So we have company dash cams. In this case, I was in my personal car though, so
Oh yeah.
but I have a dash cam too. So yeah, we do. We've had some weird stuff. There was one time. I mean, I don't want to get into too much stuff, but one time, like 10 years ago, our guy was driving along Banff Avenue, and someone just started running across the street, either dove or stumbled, and went headfirst into the passenger side of our car.
What?
He got run over by the back wheel.
Oh
and
my
was knocked
god.
out cold. There was no
Jeez.
dash cam, but there was like the town of Banff
Oh.
had a live cam going.
Oh,
on.
yeah, the live
So
feed.
the
Yeah.
police were able to find that and be like, "What the heck was this guy doing?" And
Okay.
like,
because
It's
about
like
10 years ago, I remember there was this dude. I was working at the Mount Royal, and this happened like a few weekends in a row. He had shorts over his pants and had like headphones in that were not connected to
What?
anything, and he was just like dancing out there in the like on the median of Banff Ave. And like he got arrested, I want to say 2 or 3 weekends in a row.
don't
He was coming to
remember
town,
that.
just
That's
getting
awesome,
out of
though.
his mind, blasted on God knows what.
That's
having
absolutely
a great
awesome.
time.
Yeah, Banff Vegas, baby. I'm sure you see some wild stuff. Anyways, we don't want to get too much into the work stuff. But
like,
yeah,
Yeah, how's living here other than that? How has living here kind of changed your lifestyle?
Oh well, it's weird. It's hard to remember what life was like before that. I came out here. I was just a kid. I was 24 years old.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of living almost like in a Banff style housing. I was living in a house with like 5 other dudes, and we were there for about a year. I just kind of started dating my now wife, Christy, and we decided to kind of pack up and get out. So
Nice. So you guys were dating before you even
we came
got
out
to the
together,
valley?
and a rare couple that survived.
For sure,
No,
man.
yeah.
What's the secret?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's like going to college with a girlfriend. Like, holy.
And then coming out with her
Yeah.
after grad.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, good for you guys, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You've sent us some great content in the past for our podcast, specifically the why are these on Marketplace?
Oh, yeah, dude.
There was the jockstrap one, and then that
Oh.
kind of got me thinking like that's hilarious. And all the ones that I do find now, I'm like, yo, I'm
Jockstrap,
I'm
the
these.
bike seat.
A lot of
what else
questionable
was it?
vibrating massagers.
Oh,
yeah.
What are we
Oh,
doing?
dude.
For
Dan
$5, always like
Dan
$5 or $10.
Yeah.
I think those people are just
Brand new in the box. Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
Yeah,
like,
right, bro. You don't.
Right.
I think they're
Yeah.
just posting it to try to maybe get some comments back to them or something.
Like,
Maybe.
There's no way
Yeah.
you need that $5.
Not that
Is there other podcasts that you're into besides ours? What are you
big time,
what are you
yeah.
listening to when you're out there?
Yeah, because I'm working nights mostly in the
For
car.
sure,
so,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
There's one called Are You Garbage? Do you guys know that one?
No,
No.
no.
Oh, it's good. It's these 2 comics are from Philly,
Okay.
and they generally have another comic come on as a guest, and they just talk about like they have like boilerplate questions about like their upbringing and stuff, and
Okay.
they're writing notes. I don't know if they're actually writing anything, but in the end, they're like, "Are you garbage? Are you classy?"
Okay,
Oh my
nice.
God. And then they have people that like email in
Questions?
Their
Oh,
questions about like,
yeah.
is this garbage if I do this? Like, there's like
That's cool.
like when I go to the deli, I ask for the dollar amount of meat, not the weight, because I don't want any surprises about the money when it comes down to it. Right? So give me $5 worth of pastrami.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty garbage person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Just get
Yeah,
a.
check it out.
Oh yeah, because like, who was it? I went shopping with somebody and they got like 500 grams or something. I'm like,
How much is that going to be?
That's
It's
a whole
like 36
pound.
bucks,
That's
man.
that's a whole pound, eh? Like
That's
it's
someone who
gonna-
just
Yeah,
is
it's
living
gonna-
large. They don't care.
Yeah, they're just like, holy, I didn't know it was gonna be that much. I'm like, bro, like that's why they have it in 100-gram measurements.
While we're on the topic, though, if you ever buy the like pre-packaged lunch meat,
Yeah,
it's a total ripoff compared to actually going to the deli
It's kind
counter.
of gross too.
Yeah, if you do the
Yeah.
math, like
yeah.
I don't know. I was sitting there doing one day. I'm like, yeah, they're like it's like $8 for like what, like 400 grams or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, terrible for you. Anyways, shouldn't eat.
Limit your lunch meat.
Yeah. Shit. Any other podcasts you're into?
Say, there's a guy named David Pakman. He's like a kind of a left-wing political commentary guy.
Okay.
I like him. He does
I fired
daily-
off into a wild one the other day. I listened to Tim Dillon.
Okay, yeah. I like him
And
too.
Tim Dillon, obviously comedian, blah, blah, blah. He does I just think he's a funny guy the way he speaks. And his podcast is generally just a monologue the whole time. So it's like, fuck, how could you do that?
Just for like an
it's
hour.
almost
he
in
just goes.
character too.
Yeah.
Does
It's like it has a little bit of Trump going on.
Yeah.
It's like the way he speaks kind of formulates
Who's
his words.
who's the guy that does the Dr. Phil shit?
Oh, I don't know that guy.
Oh
That's
my
on the
God.
Kill
Tony?
Tony.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't know who
God.
that guy is.
Chase and
He's
I
great,
were
though.
Chase and I were watching one the other day where he was interviewing, like him as Dr. Phil was interviewing himself. And he's just asking like the dumbest questions, like, where are you from? He's like, wherever, Philadelphia or whatever. And he's like, is that where your parents got divorced? And he's like, what? And he's like, you like spaghetti? And it's just like the dumbest shit. And he's like, were you a fat little fat kid?
I saw a
Just, like,
clip where they
roasting.
had him doing the Dr. Phil, then they had another comedian doing AI Mark Norman, and Mark Norman was there, and it was like so spot on. They were talking to each other. It was fucking great. Anyways, enough about that. We already got through that. Blah blah blah. How's being a dad in the Bow Valley?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Is there any advantages or disadvantages to raising a family here? I'm sure.
Again, I've never raised a family anywhere else.
Well,
But
Well, fair. I mean, compared to like,
you know what? We live on Banff Avenue.
Yeah.
So it is tough every time we leave the house. It's kind of like you got to be ready to grab them from not jumping on the street. Right? Like it's kind of
Fair.
a busy street.
yeah, no doubt.
And then there's the parks are great here. Like we have the Rotary Park right around the corner just
Yeah.
closed
Yeah.
down. Kind of sad. That's someone's favorite
Well,
spot.
we're going to actually talk about that a little bit later.
Oh,
yeah, there's
sorry.
a huge revamp planned actually.
yeah.
So.
no reading ahead.
Yeah, it
right?
should be
Sorry.
No, that's cool. It's all good.
But yeah, so-
but for those that don't know, he's talking about him. He's talking about his son Owen,
Yes.
right? For those that are tuning in that don't know,
Yeah, he's not going down. Well, you might go down the slide, but I don't know how much you're looking forward to that.
The slide?
Yeah, like, are you stoked when you get to go to the playground,
Oh,
go
yeah,
down
yeah,
all the
I get-
stuff,
I
and
get
like
it,
have
yeah.
no one judge you?
I feel like I'm the only dad who's really in there on the swing set,
In the
on
trenches?
the monkey bars. Yeah, a
You're
lot
like,
of people-
yeah, let's
A
go.
lot of people are just sitting on the rocks on their phones or on the benches, and I'm in there making
would.
mud pies and everything.
I'd
nice.
be
man.
coming
That's
down
the
that
way
slide
to do
like
it,
Yeah,
I think.
I think
for
I only
sure.
really want to be a dad for the toys and games.
You get to relive your own kind of
Exactly.
childhood the way you want to do it. You know what I
No
mean?
doubt.
So that's pretty awesome. Any like disadvantages besides like the price of living
the
here, of
price is
course?
gonna be crazy. Owen will be starting kindergarten this year, so
Crazy.
Kind of getting
Already,
we get it's time, right? It's time to like
no doubt.
midsummer, and now it's time to get the school supplies going. The
Yo,
third school
man.
clothes.
Oh man, I remember the hype back in the day. Is it
Right,
like, are
yeah.
you stoked to get
Yeah.
him all set up?
Get the Eaton's catalog going.
Oh yeah, Eaton's catalog. Get the Sears catalog in.
Bringing me back, brother.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Well, speaking of Owen, life's not always been, happiness and rainbows for you and your family here in the town of Banff. For those that don't know his story, can you touch on that a little bit for us?
Definitely, yeah. So this is like the most interesting thing about me. So, that's probably why I'm here. So yeah, my son was diagnosed with cancer when he was 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5 now. Everything's really great now. He's in remission.
Great to hear.
But yeah, so it was pretty hectic. Like it, over the course of 3 days, it's kind of like basically got paralyzed from the waist down. And yeah, we took him to the doctor because it was like, oh, he's uncomfortable. He's kind of limping around, and then they sent us home. And then the next day, he's like crawling and like dragging his legs.
That's got to be a
they-
scary moment for a parent,
Oh,
for sure.
That was just the start of it, man. It's been a scary couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they took blood work and then they sent us home again. And then they're like, holy shit, his blood work is awful. You got to go straight to Children's Hospital. And then,
Jeez.
so we did that. And yeah, we didn't really get to come home for like a month after that. So
Oh wow.
it was crazy. Yeah. So they found basically a tumor had kind of wrapped around his spinal cord. And then
Oh,
once it got up against the bones, there was nowhere else to go but kind of squeeze the cord. And that's what kind
okay.
of shut his legs off.
Damn.
But yeah, so it was crazy.
So obviously life changed from one moment to the next for you guys, to say the least.
Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, it was it was pretty miraculous. Like his legs were shut off basically for a month, and then
Crazy.
and then started coming back. And really, if you look at him today, you'd maybe never know that he was ever sick, right? Like he won't sit still, he won't
That's what I'm saying. When you do see him these days,
Yeah,
he's
he's
looking,
running, jumping,
great
climbing,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's got to be a pretty proud moment for a dad to see your kid kind of bounce back
Yeah.
from something like that. That's
It's nice
insane.
when people don't know about it and they just see him as just a normal kid. It's kind of
For
like,
sure.
hey, fuck,
Absolutely. And I think more and more, like, I don't know, people know about it from fundraising and stuff in the past. How did the community kind of step up to give you guys a hand during this? I remember attending fundraisers back in the day, Bruno's and
I remember
a lot of places.
There's a lot of stuff going on that Christy and I weren't really aware
for sure.
of,
Like
right?
you guys kind of had your hands tied.
We're locked in a hospital room. But yeah, there was a big GoFundMe that raised a ton of money.
Cool.
The golf fundraiser, the best ball that
the Silas
runs.
Silas fundraiser
chucked us a ton of money. Basically, all the money from that year's fundraiser, and then there's T-shirts and stickers and everything sold, and there's so much other stuff I can't remember. People were helping. There's a bottle drive.
Shout
out Serena did a bottle drive.
Yeah, big shout out.
And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. People were helping out with gift cards for food and even bringing actual food to us.
Nice,
crazy.
That's like I think the most heartwarming way is like bringing a tray of casserole.
Big casseroles. Yeah. Well, that's just like a testament again at the community in Banff, right? Like I don't think you'd get as much of that in a big city as you would here. It's kind of like the whole town just kind of bands together. And
for sure, I think again, like we've mentioned this before, the fact that none of us really have our close family here. That your friends kind of become your family in that sense.
Makes dealing with what we were dealing with even a little tougher, right? Like
for sure,
we had my mom and Christy's parents came out to help out, but they're not there the whole time, right?
For sure, not always the easiest, like financially, to make your way out from Hamilton or especially from the Toronto area. Like I booked some flights recently, and
was it a lot?
I've never got a flight less than I want to say $550 return.
Nice.
So it's like
last time I went home, they didn't have
maybe right after COVID or something, but that was I feel like.
They've got some of the cheaper airlines.
I went home in September for $200 return, buddy.
What?
Was that Flair?
No way.
I wish I remembered. It was WestJet one way, and then one of these new airlines on the way back, like
I think I heard some about Lynx or Flair. One of these new ones my buddy was on. They didn't have a toilet for the.
They didn't have anything. Yeah.
Man.
There was no food or drink at all.
Yeah, like not even an option.
Not even to buy. Yeah.
Wow.
You were just in there. You were just like luggage.
Bring your own meatball sub, extra onion.
Yo, dude, if you're bringing a meatball sub on the plane, Ricky, you're a garbage person.
Are you garbage?
Ricky made that joke at work. He's like, right before I get on the flight on the way home, I'm going to get a meatball sub, extra onion. I'm like, oh, dude,
no toilet.
Bro, yeah.
No toilet on the plane.
That's terrible, man. You mentioned Silas and the best ball. Is there any other specific organization that you'd like to highlight that helped you out throughout your journey? Like,
put me on the spot here. So, I mean, my own company, my own boss was incredible. Still is. Kind of puts up with the.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's unexpected things that you have to deal with, appointments, right?
Yeah, and he's helped me out with gas because I was, my 5-minute commute turned into an hour and a half each way.
For sure.
So he was helping out with gas, helped out with scheduling whenever needed. What else was there? I mean, I think Rosencrown did a big fundraiser. Bruno's, R.I.P. Bruno's.
R.I.P. Bruno's, man.
Fundraising.
Yeah. I think that picture that we used with you and little Owen, I think was maybe from Bruno's. I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot, there's more than I even know, right? Like we were staying at Ronald McDonald House for a lot of it.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess shout out them, even though I got some problems with Ronald McDonald.
Yeah?
Yeah, like.
Anything you want to dive into?
How much is McDonald's actually putting into this? They seem to be taking a lot of donations and taking all the credit.
Fair. But I guess there's more heroes behind the scenes.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. People working there volunteering.
Oh, really?
McDonald's making out sweet on this, I think.
Wow. Interesting.
And it costs money to stay there for a fair family, too.
So they charged you to be
money,
there.
But I was going to say, somebody did step up and just pay our tab at a certain point, too.
Okay.
Which I don't even know who did. So if you're listening, you did that. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Wild. Yeah, if you're out there listening, big thank you.
Yeah, we never found out who.
Oh, really? Just an anonymous donation.
But we were there. I mean, I can't even. They tell you around McDonald's House when you're like checking in, checking out. They're like, oh, you've been here 200 nights or whatever. So,
wow.
So at $10 a day, that's $2,000.
Fair.
So, so we had to pay some, but somebody stepped up and paid our first bill, which is I think the biggest one. I think we were.
How many days?
I think we ran up a tab at like $500 before we got to check out. So
damn.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, big thank you out there. I'm sure they're listening. If someone was nice enough to clear up your tab, I'm sure they're tuning into your episode.
On the internet.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's probably my mom. So.
It was
Maybe, I
probably- any other personal lessons that you and your family learned along the way, trying to deal with
Yeah.
the whole situation and everything going on?
Yeah, I mean, so like I tried to work through the entire thing. That was probably a dumb move by me.
Like not taking time off
Yeah,
your
like
job,
I didn't take
you
a
mean?
leave. I
Yeah.
took. Eventually, I kind of scaled it down: 4 nights a week, 3 nights a week.
So you were just going back
I
and
was going
forth
back and
between
forth.
Calgary and Banff the whole time.
A lot of podcasts. I wish you guys were around.
Jeez.
But yeah, so I wouldn't recommend that because
How do you as a father like make that decision to not keep bringing in income?
Yeah, that's true. You got to keep the lights on.
Right? Like
Yeah, we're
that's
still
got to
paying
be a
rent
tough
back
decision.
Back in Banff, and paying obviously Ronald McDonald their little.
Oh yeah, because you can't lose
Ronald
your
McDonald is paying him yourself.
No,
he comes
yeah,
in and
shakes
collects
you
a
down. He's
donation.
like,
Yeah, he shakes you down.
shakes you down in
But
your
yeah,
worst
so
time.
it made me kind of worse at everything, right? I was probably definitely worse as an employee, worse as a father, a caretaker,
Okay.
worse husband, worse motorist. I was a nightmare.
Oh, God.
I was a nightmare to be around, but for a good 2 years.
Damn.
I'm better now.
So yeah, maybe take some time off if you're in that position.
Yeah.
But again, like you never know until you're in it, right?
Of course,
like
yeah.
people deal with stress different ways,
Right.
and I think I'm one of those types of people that when stress does happen, I'm going to work and just something to kind of
You know what?
you
Yeah.
can get tunnel vision into what you're doing.
Yep.
and
It felt good because being in the hospital like that, like it's terrifying, but it's also boring,
yeah.
excruciatingly boring.
Right,
Being
for
in there,
sure.
all you got is a little CRT TV
Yeah.
with like basic cable on there. The Wi-Fi sucks.
Lots of CBC.
Yeah, right.
Lots
So,
of CDC
so I was
reruns.
kind of looking forward to at night getting out of there,
Yeah.
and the nice 1 hour drive, no traffic, getting out of Calgary at that time.
Lots of time to clear your head.
Yeah,
and
clear your
kinda
head and then
think
go back in for the morning and go do it again.
Go back to reality. Yeah.
changing these diapers. So I don't want to get too much into Owen's treatment, but when a kid is getting chemo, they hyperhydrate them through IV, so he's blowing up like super like swollen with water.
Oh, okay.
So he's got to pee a lot.
Okay.
And then also
crazy.
the chemo drugs are actually like toxic to your skin.
Yeah.
So you got to change these diapers. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like every hour you got to change them.
It's just in case he
Yeah.
peed a bit or something, right?
Trust me, he's
Oh,
filling these diapers.
He's filling them.
and they're like, yeah. So if he's exposing himself to this
Right.
chemo medication across his
Right.
skin, there it'll like burn through his skin or.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's wild. Yeah.
And
My
so
mom
it's
just,
every
uh,
hour, 24 hours a day. The nurses helped a lot through the nighttime, but
Well, it's crazy. You don't think like I don't know. I didn't know this personally, but yeah, my mom just underwent some cancer treatment herself, and like, the drugs that they give you to fight the cancer kills everything around it as well.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not just toxic to the cancer;
Yeah.
it does
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
damage
wild,
to
man.
everything. And even like years later down the line, I think she's like 2 years out of treatment. She's still experiencing like
Oh, yeah.
didn't sweat for like soup. Sorry to sorry to expose you on the pod, but
Hey, Mom.
like weird bodily functions that you like think are
fingernails,
normal.
too. Owen's fingernails are still a little bit wavy and weird.
Right? So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it's crazy the effect these drugs have on your
Yeah.
body.
Well, especially when you're so young too, right? Like that's
Yeah.
wild to go through.
Certainly, yeah.
Like when you're that young, something like that, like that
Yeah.
serious that young.
Mhm.
That's crazy. But
Yeah, they so yeah, the way they explained it to me was that the chemo will kind of kill any fast replicating cells.
Okay.
So that is your hair, your skin, your fingernails,
Okay.
cancer,
Yeah.
but
Right.
also blood.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the complications lie there. Where everything else like fingernails and hair,
Yeah, whatever.
can
Like,
expect that. But yeah, when your blood starts like kind of dying.
so what? It's like it doesn't make new blood
Right, yeah,
cells type
exactly,
of thing.
yeah.
oh,
So-
okay.
So there was a drug. It's actually the most expensive drug I've ever heard of.
Mhm.
So the typical like cycle would be a week getting chemo IV in the hospital, and then they sent us home for a week for him to kind
Okay.
of recover. So they would send us home with a pack of loaded syringes.
Okay.
I think each one was $3,000. So it was,
What?
so it'd be like, here's $30,000 worth of drugs.
Jeez. Who pays
That's
for that? Is
insane.
that
So
like
so it's not actually covered by Alberta Health.
Oh, wow.
But they're like, can you guys afford that? And I was like, can anybody?
what? Like
Yeah,
are
right.
you
So,
kidding me?
so like,
Yeah.
okay, there is like some fun set up, some like, I guess like a charity specifically for these expensive medications.
I think I've heard of
That's
this
wild.
before. Like for drugs that are that specific, the companies that make them will have funds for people that really need them or whatever to have
Which
access
I
to
think
them.
is everyone, right?
Well, that's like
$30,000 a
some
week.
that's like some people's like yearly wage,
Right,
like
yeah.
in a week. Like
Yeah,
that's
so
absolutely
we'd have
wild.
to inject Owen when they send us home. And the way they explain it is that they can give him a dose of the chemo drugs while he's there that would otherwise be like fatal, like likely fatal. And then this drug, we inject him and that would restart his blood production. and so that he wouldn't,
Holy.
right. So it's a lot of pressure on us.
Oh my God.
But
No
the
doubt.
doctor said he was really cool. Dr. Ravi Shah. He's like, if this was back in the 80s, we would be able to give you this much chemo, and you probably wouldn't be looking at such a good outcome.
Fair.
But now that we can do this, it's not like necessarily the chemo has gotten better, but they can give more of it.
The treatment
And then this-
afterwards. Yeah.
this injectable.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be a pretty, got a steady
Oh,
hand.
man.
when you're
I don't want to embarrass myself here, but I could never do it. I would always faint.
fair.
So Chrissy gave him basically every injection.
Oh, no.
Big shout out
for
to
like a
Christy.
year. I would hold him, and Chrissy had to do the needle because
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know this, but I'm not very good with needles.
I'm
Yeah,
kinda
man.
the
I guess
same.
you find something out and learn something new every day. Don't
Found
you?
out the hard way.
Wild. Any
Jesus.
other lessons that you've learned along this journey that you'd like to share with our guests? Like some about yourself or your outlook on life or something? Like I'm sure that going through this process will change you as a person for
certainly.
sure.
Like it's hard to say, but yeah, like you learn to appreciate the things and appreciate things like walking and running, right? Like
Yeah, no
stuff
doubt.
that, when he went in there, we didn't know if he'd ever walk again. So
Damn.
now it's kind of like I got to stop myself and I'm like, sit down, stop running. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? This is actually kind of a blessing here to have him walking. So
Yeah, you forget and you go into dad mode.
Oh,
You're
I
just
know.
like, wait, never mind. Like, let him go.
I live in that mode. I
Yeah.
live on the edge. Like,
For sure.
stop running.
Oh God.
Wow.
Any advice you'd give to a family who might be kind of facing the same challenges, same situation?
Well, yeah, I'd say take time because when I was kind of doing it, I was overdoing it and
Burn the candle at both
trying to do
ends.
too much and just being shitty at everything. Another one would be to kind of just stick with the program. It's scary. The drugs are scary. The treatment's scary. But I had people and even the doctors talked about this. There's people that will want to have alternate medications or alternate treatment.
Did
stuff.
you have people like approaching you with alternative?
Yeah.
Is
Like
that how do you feel
naturopath
about
stuff
that?
and like
Yeah.
the weird stuff.
One guy, I think he's still around, so I don't want to.
You don't have to name
Oh, yeah,
him,
no,
But he wanted to get Owen on like a cannabis regimen. This is a 1-year-old boy. And he was like-
okay, dude. Maybe,
I mean,
maybe
I'm
dial
a
it back
cannabis,
a bit.
I'm a
yeah.
cannabis enthusiast, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not one. I'm good with 1-year-olds not smoking pot.
Yeah, I was like, man, if he has trouble like having an appetite, maybe we'll talk about it then. But
for sure, like
Yeah.
not just to do
Yeah,
it to do it.
and yeah, there's
you
a
know?
lot of people will have other
financial interests in
I don't
or is it
I don't
like
know about that. I was
No.
gonna say just like other philosophies on like treatment,
Right,
right? So
right.
if you're certain religions or whatever,
Mhm.
that stuff's all great, but it's got to be in addition to the real hard medicine, right?
I would agree. So
Right.
there for sure,
Yeah.
like
you can't deny modern science?
yeah,
like,
the
you know what
efficacy
I
of
mean?
modern science. Is,
Our average age went from like 34 up to like 80 something. So
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it
And this is
what
all
it is.
when COVID was popping off too. This whole
Oh,
illness.
right,
True.
right.
Because he
yeah.
got sick in September of 2020.
So there's that
Right.
added
Weird.
layer of
Yeah.
Yeah. So
scariness.
yeah, right. So, yeah, a couple of times he had to go in like an isolation room because if you get a fever, they're just like, oh, it could be COVID.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
How was like? How would you describe your experience like navigating through the medical
So I mean,
landscape? I guess.
so like having a kid in cancer, they actually treat you awesome.
Yeah.
It's one good thing about it. You're like
Okay.
a rock star in the hospital. So you never have to wait for appointments. You never have to wait for an MRI. Like
Cool.
people that I know of are waiting to get their knees looked at for years.
Absolutely.
Owen's in like every 3 months for an MRI.
As it
Cool.
should be, right?
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
think
that's immediate like medical attention
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
They-
You don't want to delay that treatment.
I think a child just
Especially,
amplifies the urgency,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
yeah, the children's hospital is great.
mhm.
Every once in a while, I've had to go to places that aren't the children's hospital. And it's always like, hey, come on, where's the toys? What's going on?
Yeah, like, so yeah,
where,
nothing.
where are the treats?
the toys for you, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. He's like, I want to play, man. I'm bored.
But yeah, like in terms of Owen's treatment with the children's hospital, everyone there is great. It's almost like a Patch Adams type environment where
Amazing.
every caregiver is also kind of like an entertainer, and
oh,
Nice.
they're all
That's
great with
cool.
kids. Yeah,
That's cool.
that's great to hear.
That makes
at
it a little
least-
easier on you guys.
yeah. People like to really knock on AHS, but
For sure.
my experience has been good.
Fair.
Cool.
And I mean, I think navigating one of the tougher scenarios
No doubt.
in dealing with AHS, I
Yeah.
think that's that's just a good testament that
I would love to see like a full invoice of how much Owen's treatment costs. I wonder if they keep track of that.
that'd be pretty wild, wouldn't it?
I would
Like,
see it's probably 7 figures. I think
crazy.
It's
Jeez.
got
Yeah.
just those. Think about just those.
Yeah,
Those
that 1
injectable
week,
drugs.
right? 30 grand for 1
No,
week.
that was every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
Think of-
They're sending us home with that every time we left the hospital with
That's
basically
insane.
30 grand in a cooler.
Oh my God.
And then we go back and go.
Think about having to do that in the States. Like,
Yeah, that's what I did think about.
oh my
Christy
God.
and I obviously don't have jobs where we'd have like these great health plans, right? So we'd be paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
We'd probably get shut off or cut off our health insurance if we had
That's
it.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. How's Owen doing now?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's
You said noticed
fantastic.
earlier. He's
Yeah.
doing great.
So
He's
just
lively,
turned
running
5.
around.
5 already. Yeah.
So he is going to have some
Ongoing treatment?
ongoing like complications.
Okay.
Right? So they've warned us ahead of time. It's mostly vanity stuff, some hair loss, maybe some teeth issues, maybe some vision issues. They said maybe like his facial bones won't be symmetrical.
Okay.
So like he might have like a kind of an indent here
From
radiation.
radiation, yeah.
So
Oh,
radiation
okay.
kind of acts like a scalpel. So anywhere
Okay.
they kind of touch with it is not going to grow
as
or
it
grow as
should.
much, right?
Okay.
Oh, crazy.
So they said, all these things can be fixed with a little bit of money, hair, teeth.
Yeah.
Which in the grand scheme of
Yeah,
things,
even the facial bones, they can put a little
like implants
plate
or
in there,
whatever.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll get to that as it comes. But
Right on.
we all just kind of said, get him there, get him to adulthood, and then
We'll
worry about
cross that
the
bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
I think it's a great,
Yeah.
great attitude to
Yeah.
have. You know what I mean? You've overcome so many hurdles so far that, I think that's
That's in the
Exactly.
background.
Minor
Yeah, let that
details,
go
you know
until
what
he's
I
a
mean?
teenager.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
wild stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for sharing that with us. Honestly, I knew that
Yeah.
was
I don't want to get too heavy. This is kind of a goofy podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
A
yeah.
lot of goofing around, but
you're a pretty goofy guy as well. I was like messaging him earlier. Maybe I won't go too deep into that, but thanks for sharing that with us. Honestly, just your story. I think throughout the years, when things are going well, people tend to stop talking about it, right?
That's
It's
true, yeah.
like,
Right.
it's cool to catch up and know that he's doing well, and
Yeah.
that
even I stopped kind of really posting stuff and like telling people how he's doing because these things are good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, great to hear. Man.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
to hear
Yeah,
that
yeah.
things are good.
Yeah.
You want to take us on our maybe less serious question here?
The last one?
The last one.
Oh no, the doozy. All right. Well, since it's coming up tomorrow, what are your thoughts on the Banff Ave pedestrian closure?
Ooh. So
Everybody's got a different one.
I saw like recently there was an emotional post on
Yo,
the
it's
Facebook
getting
page.
it's
Oh,
getting
it's getting
hairy now,
heated.
man.
So for me, I'm going to put it right out there. I'm going to be voting to keep the closure.
Okay,
Nice.
keep the
Based
closure.
strictly on vibes.
Fair.
I just
Yeah.
like it there. I like walking down. I don't know. I remember
Same.
you guys had Mr. Julius. Is that his name?
Yeah, Bunny.
He
yeah.
was,
Yeah.
talking about the revenue versus losing parking spots and the cost of the permits.
Yeah.
I just was like, my eyes just glazed over. I just care about vibes. It's fun down there.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really depends. Like a lot of different types of people are fighting for different types of things, right?
Yeah.
Like if you live across the bridge, security is an issue, traffic is an issue. If you live anywhere close to Banff Ave, having that walk to work is pretty sweet. Being able to ride your bike or skateboard is pretty sweet.
People don't like the buses and the traffic on Beaver or whatever. too.
Yeah, like if you live on Beaver, you might not like
Well,
the added traffic.
What did they say? What were the stats there that
Yeah. they said
Yeah,
that-
so the stats from this past week or something like
I
that, it was
didn't
like
grab 'em for the
6% of
pod,
the traffic across the bridge has decreased from last year.
and like 17 from pre-COVID.
Yeah,
17%
17% less vehicles across the bridge in the last 2 weeks than pre-COVID. Now,
is that just because traffic's so bad?
well, I think that's the intersection, right? Like,
Yeah, we're
Is
like,
that
look,
just
this
'cause
proof
no
that
one
it's
moves
awesome.
on the
And they're like,
bridge?
oh,
Like,
no one can get
damn.
across.
one of the comments that I read this week, and I forget who it was, but I'm going to kind of paraphrase a little bit here. They were saying like it's nice to finally see all these added measures added to the town, like the intercept parking, getting people to take public transit. Now, can you imagine if all these measures were still put in place and Banff Ave was reopened? If they can still keep people from trying to get across the bridge in their vehicles, added buses, yada yada,
Yeah.
and then as well having that added circulation bonus of Banff Ave being open. Again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I've been kind of flirting with. I'm not really down with it. Personally, I think it could be done in a different space. It could be done better. And voting no doesn't mean no forever. It just means they can't revisit it for 3 years, which I think would give time for more infrastructure. But again, you want to vote yes, you want to keep it, please. Like
And
that's why we're doing this vote.
I do
so.
cross the bridge a lot. I got to work on that side. And
For sure.
Right.
Play softball too. So,
Yeah. Do you find over the years?
hey, what's
Yo,
up?
what up?
It's Chase
We're
walking through.
going to talk about Chase's comment later. Actually, good thing he's making an appearance
Cameo,
here.
eh?
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, so only one time in the history of this closure have I really got stuck in and like upset in traffic.
All right, let's
I
hear
was
it.
late for softball
Fair.
and I was going down. I think it was like Martin Street, no Muskrat.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
okay.
going
Yeah.
down Muskrat, and it was just like total gridlock. I was late for baseball. So I found a parking spot on the street and just parked my car on Muscat
just
and
ran
ran to the diamonds. I was in
Oh,
flip flops
no.
too, and I was still late but and exhausted.
Just hucking
That's
it.
once.
Just
That's once in 4
hucking
years.
it in flip flops. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, once in 4 years. You can't complain with that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't think the problem, and again, this has been mentioned before. Again, the problem isn't the road is closed; it's just the amount of vehicles. Like the same amount of vehicles are going to be here whether the road is open or whether it's closed. So that's been kind of my flip flopping on it. Anyways, I'm not really sure anymore. Like, I just don't think that patios should be out there. If they're having closures on it, I just don't think that restaurants should be out there because there's only really two companies.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's my least favorite part of it. Like, there's also like, I don't know, offering people a free place to hang out is discouraging people from entering restaurants. I feel like lots of picnics going down.
I mean,
I don't know.
it depends.
Depends on the, I don't know.
Could be good for some of the smaller restaurants, but
True.
like I said, yeah, it's one of those. Everybody's got something to say on it.
Yeah.
I think it's an age demographic thing too. Like a lot of the people that are up in arms about it tend to be
Right.
people that have lived here longer, we'll say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So town will change. I think it's naive to think that it won't change. So
Right.
pedestrian
It's gonna-
closure or not, we get to vote on it. Tomorrow's an early poll. We'll get to that post in just a moment.
That's right.
Should we move on to some post action here? What do you
Yeah,
think?
let's do it. We actually got to start it out with one of his anyway. So
Nice.
let's go.
Great.
Alrighty.
Oh wow.
Here we go. So this one is a picture of a phone, and it reads: "Found the ZTE phone on the ground, Wolf Street, frozen stiff, battery drained, and seemingly covered in blood. If you wake up in the same condition, hit me up. Would love to hear the story." Have you heard anything yet?
No, never heard anything. And I actually passed that phone on after a long time, passed it on to someone who needed a phone, but we never got it working. We put his SIM card in, and I think you needed to put in some other password to like actually like do a full reset. So
Yeah, fair.
I think that phone is probably sitting in a drawer somewhere in Banff.
Amazing.
Not in my house anymore.
Well, they give me a call if you woke up in the same condition really got me. I did a little dive on some of your Overheard posts, and that was kind of one that stood out to me. Every time you're posting, it's always hilarious. Even if it's something like, wow, this could maybe be a scary situation, you still kind of find the light of it. I thought it was great.
Somebody
So,
got in a fight, lost their phone.
Oh yeah.
Or-
It was all bloody, like honestly.
do you find like crazy stuff on your security journeys? Like, I'm sure you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you find a lot of misplaced stuff. So I used to run it. I ran a few like half marathons and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I would get out, 4, 5, 6 in the morning
Okay.
and just run up and down Banff Avenue, have like a water bottle put somewhere. There's no one on the street except the
Yeah, yeah.
cleaners, right?
For sure.
And yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
find wallets and phones and some money sometimes, and
Sick.
people would be dropping drugs on the ground.
Oh yeah,
Oh, God knows what.
that
Right?
happens in Banff.
I've had a few floor
Found a couple
finds.
heroin kits.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I didn't think that was like,
Yeah. Recently, one of my guys
Oh,
found
geez.
one at work. It was
damn,
on the
dude.
street,
I mean, I guess junkies do come vacation
Yeah.
in Banff
Yeah.
too, you
Yeah,
know?
junkies love a getaway, a weekend getaway.
A weekend getaway. The junkie boys just going out for a weekend
But
getaway.
yeah, that kind of kept the runs interesting, right? Because you're kind of legging out an hour and a half run, but if you keep your eyes peeled, you're seeing
see
You
Yeah.
see some cool,
just like, party hats and everything, right? Like
Early
people
morning
just drop
party
stuff.
favors, they call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm sure there'd be like Stampede Week, bunch of cowboy hats.
Yeah, cowboy hats. Like St. Patrick's Day, you'll find
Oh, dude.
so much. For
Oh,
weeks,
yeah.
you still find like
Those
flower,
green
like
beads.
beads,
Oh, yeah,
beads
yeah,
It's
and,
all
yeah,
over the
yeah.
place.
clover necklaces.
Oh God.
Damn.
But yeah, so if you're still missing that ZTE phone,
Come
Get it.
holla.
hit me up. Yeah.
Come holla.
Have you seen that dude that does the reels? Is like, I got a black Dodge SRT. Come holla.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's great.
Is that guy a real car dealer or is that all fake?
I think he actually is a car dealer.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
If
It's
they
pretty
let him do
good.
that. That's nuts.
It's pretty wild. I don't think he mentions the dealership, but like if you know
Yeah.
who he is.
Yeah.
Anyways, come holla.
Alrighty. Well, after that, looks like Bam. The town of Banff Fire Department issuing a fire ban
Fire ban in effect. Yeah.
as of the 13th.
Town of Banff. I think the whole Banff National Park. So as of July 13th, fire ban has been issued. The fire
you
level
expand that,
is
Matt?
extreme right
Can you
now.
click
So
where it says see more.
Yeah. No, I can't.
Oh, no. I was wondering, are you allowed to barbecue like a charcoal
I don't know.
barbecue?
I think you'd have to check specifically for charcoal barbecues. I know when there's a fire ban, you can use a propane fireplace or fire pit that they sell at Canadian Tire. I've seen a lot of people add those to their camping setups in the recent years just due to the increase of fire danger. Those are super easy to control. And I think the whole thing is they don't send embers into the air, which a campfire does. So, stay tuned to Town of Banff, Banff National Park, or even, I guess, the Parks Canada Facebook page, and they'll tell you everything about fire bans.
No doubt.
I was just down to White Swan last week, and like as soon as you pass Radium, like it's very nice and green and lush here in Banff right now, but not far down the road. It's pretty dry, pretty brown down there. So
it's been hot.
It's been great, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about the park earlier. Well, he was talking about the park, not I. But Aaron was talking about the park being closed down here. So it looks like the Banff Rotary Club is, it says here, the Banff Rotary Club is very excited to see the start of our long-anticipated project of developing Rotary Park. It's been multiple years of hard work, and you'll have seen the fencing go up over the past couple days. They look forward to welcome the community back sometime in October. It looks like this will be done.
Yeah, so the fences are already up. I noticed them on my way here.
Yep.
So unfortunately, Owens Park is doing a bit of restructuring.
We had to break it to him yesterday. Like, hey, you know your park, it's closed.
What was his reaction to that? Was he upset?
He was just he's like, well, we can go to other parks. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Apparently they're getting like tennis courts and like
good. I
basketballs.
saw a rendering. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it looks sweet,
so attached to this post, I think it was on Bow Valley Community Connection. You can go see the rendering of the new park. They're going to have tons of new stuff going on. Unfortunately, there'll be a fence up until that happens, but new and improved Rotary Park. Thank you to I guess the Rotary Club. They must own that.
Yeah, I think it's Rotary Club of Banff owns that.
Sweet.
So I have a friend who I think works for Arc Construction, and he posted about it too.
Yeah.
And I made a comment, hey, dude, there's a time capsule buried in there. I see it every time I take Owen to the park. I'm like, make sure don't ruin that. What are you guys doing with that? And then someone else from the company is like, don't worry, we'll be taken care of. We're probably going to dig it up and like reveal what's in there.
So how long has it been buried there?
I think like 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years?
I think
That's
so.
cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
I want to
Be
see
like
what's
a
in it.
fucking
The year 2000.
like a cassette, like a Pearl Jam cassette or something.
Oh yeah,
That's more like 30 years, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, buddy. That's
years.
we're older than you think now. Dude.
Yeah,
It's going to be an iPod, man.
Oh, God. Fuck, I guess, eh?
Well, just another reminder as well. The vote is going.
Yeah, we got
Early
a post
vote
here
tomorrow.
that says there's advanced polling tomorrow. If you want to have your voice heard on the Banff Ave matter, whether you're for or against it, I don't care. I know what I'm for. I know what I'm against.
Yep.
Do you know what you're for or against? Make up your mind. If it's already made up, you can go tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at the YMCA.
YWCA.
Shit, sorry.
I know, I do it every time.
It's pretty far. So you can go and have your voice heard. I've seen this, like, you know that Facebook page? If you see the one like for a Better Banff Ave or whatever, they had like an actual fucking like a kiosk and like people out there in yellow shirts, like
really?
I have one of
trying
those
to
yellow
sway
shirts.
the vote.
Oh,
Yeah, they swayed you. Huh?
They're lobbying
they
it
got
now,
to you
are they?
first.
They got to me.
They're lobbying.
Yeah.
I'm with them.
I guess.
Oh God.
As to my suspicions, the Facebook page was saying they're a group of locals supported by BHC as well as Caribou Properties.
Yeah,
local
monetarily
businesses.
supported. Or?
Yeah, so I guess they've put money into
So they're lobbying.
advertise. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought it was pretty wild because the other side obviously does not have the means to do so. But hey,
No.
that's the way she goes in politics. You know what I'm saying?
The opposite of giving people money to do stuff is thieving.
True.
And we got some fucking thieving going on this week.
Yeah, lots of thieving going on. You been on
Lots
the
of
Overheard this
thieving.
I
week?
saw.
Oh, you saw?
Bison.
Yeah,
skull?
look at this.
Yeah.
Steven Scum walked right in the front yard and flower bed and took my bison skull, a gift from a stony elder. Bring it back.
That sucks, man. Like
And then-
a bison skull is not easy to come by.
And then this morning, same poster. Please bring the moose antlers and bison skull back to Martin Street. Cash reward for ratting out your roommate.
That's smart. Like,
Yeah,
Very
that's
smart. Very smart.
Dude, you could get like 2 cases of beer probably.
Be like, I'll give you $80 if you get my stuff back. And you'll have to have people search it.
big
you know
time.
what I'm saying?
Steal it from your roommate, take it back, get the reward. Just tell him it was your roommate still.
Yeah, cut to the next one too. It's on the same kind of
Oh yeah, for sure.
same kind of thing. So this one, we all recognize this place.
Yeah. Could the person that could the person that took my barrel please return it, Caribou Street? Thank you.
It's crazy. It seems like if it's not nailed or chained down, people are just thinking that these are props for their taking.
I think this is just the summer drunk crowd.
That's exactly what I was
from out of
thinking,
town.
yeah.
I mean, I would doubt that it's anyone from town because if obviously you have a beautiful like moose antler shed and a beautiful bison skull and you put it in your own house or yard, someone's going to see it, right?
Yeah.
Like it happened back in the day. A buddy of mine would take signs from bars. And I'm not going to name who, I'm not going to name when or
What
which
kind of
bars.
sign?
Just like
the washroom?
sign, yeah,
The washroom sign?
like would take signs from bars, like put it in his living room or whatever. So took one from a specific bar, brought it home, and then had someone over partying like weeks later, and was like, "Dude, like that's the sign for my fucking work." So yeah, I don't know what people are doing with this, man. If you do have any cool artifacts in your front yard, make sure you nail them down,
No doubt.
weight them down. I don't know,
Chain them up.
Yeah, put some concrete in the bottom of that
Hide
barrel.
your kids. Lock up your daughters.
This one, Chase actually stand in the window right now. You can come on if you want.
Yeah, Chase. What
Chase
did you
had a
have to say
hilarious
about this
comment
one?
on this post. It was like, "What the fuck is Donkey Kong in town or something?"
I am like I'll keep my eyes peeled, and I didn't realize the pun until after. I'm like, oh, that actually works
That's so
because
good.
bananas. I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, yeah, like who rolls into town and steals a fucking barrel? Like,
Yeah.
give me. And it's actually my foreman Mark's property too, and that's just a shitty thing to do, like stealing people's things. But that wouldn't have been exactly a walk in the park, rolling up and taking a 200-pound barrel.
Well, it would have been very reminiscent, I think, of Donkey Kong because you definitely would have had to roll it to wherever you're getting it. Hopefully, it was downhill because you're not getting up that hill with a 200-pound barrel.
Yeah, wild.
Thanks for popping on there, Chase.
That
A little,
was-
little
that-
sneak peek from Chase.
Oh, that was good though. He's like, yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled. I'm like, nice one. He's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I was like, fucking nailed it. Didn't even think of it.
Accidental wit.
That's it. It was so good. I loved it. Anyways,
Speaking of good posts, this one is another. It's another pedestrian zone one. It's not. These are not our views. Or these views are not that of the Overheard podcast, but of the OP.
yeah.
POV pedestrian zone gets voted yes. If you know, you know, and it's just the killdozer.
Killdozer. Ooh. One of the comments was like, if you want to encase yourself in metal and advocate for mental health issues or whatever, like, it's just a joke, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a joke.
No one do this. Please don't take it that far. If it's
That
voted
Killdozer
yes.
guy, he
went
had
too
a
far.
list. He had a
dude.
list of places he was taking.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
He crushed the city hall, crushed the mayor's house.
it's
Don't
wild.
do that.
Don't do that.
Oh, it was wild.
OP, you are on a watch list for sure.
Yeah, they're prepared.
Prepared for that now, so it's just not going to work out.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
they got like IEDs and
Bollards?
stuff they'll use, yeah.
They got plans in place to prevent this. So if you had a little fucking idea or a little plan,
You've been working on something in your garage.
yo,
Yeah, no doubt.
if you have a garage big enough to build one of these, please rent it out to me
Yeah, for the
affordable
podcast.
housing.
Yeah, for the podcast. Yeah, there we go.
for sure.
Well, on to some other news. RCMP in town of Canmore advising everyone to avoid the Cougar Creek community pathway, including the pedestrian underpass. There's an aggressive bear in the area. Fish and wildlife have been called and are on the way. Respect your closures and area restrictions. As always, don't be going in there. Watch your shit.
True. Yeah, this was yesterday. I found this. Well, I saw it yesterday. But it was yesterday in the Cougar Creek area. I guess some bear was roaming around. There's an underpass there that people use, and it was getting pretty aggressive towards people. It's gone now. I think they had to trap it and remove it. No other word.
Nice.
Apparently,
nice.
it's gone out of the area. So all is good if you're out in Canmore, out and about. But a good thing just to be mindful of is give town a Canmore a follow, give town a Banff a follow. So when these things do happen, you can know right away. You don't have to wait till Tuesday and be like, fuck, I was walking there yesterday.
It's the first time hearing of this.
Yeah. Well, okay. This next one, this is a good one. Well, let's see if Aaron can spot what's going on here. So this one is just called Canadian Banff Tunnel Mountain.
These are all tunnels.
Yeah, but just look at them real close.
So this was on like
I'm
this
40
is
years
on a
old.
page
My
called
vision's not what it
I
used
know,
to
me
be.
too, man.
this is on a page called Spreading Smiles, and someone had posted this as Canadian Banff Tunnel Mountain. So this happens all the time. Like a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, there was like Moraine Lake was being used to advertise these getaways, and there was like pigs in the water.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a beautiful porch going down into Moraine Lake that have been AI generated or added onto the picture. So this one is 4 different pictures of, I think, what someone would have put into an AI prompted like
A tunnel and a
Yeah,
mountain.
they
Yeah,
just
Tunnel
probably
Mountain.
typed in like Tunnel Mountain, Banff, Canada, and that's what the AI gave them. But
like I think the top right one looks like it would be kind of the most accurate one. But yeah, it's just wild that people like you'll see this all the time on people are claiming these places to be Banff or Moraine Lake or whatever. Couldn't be farther from the truth. And all the comments are of like super stickler Banff locals being like, that's not Banff. That's not Tunnel Mountain.
If you see the comment, there's a comment on there, and it's like, it's not actually, it's AI, but the mountains are real, like Banff. And I'm like, no, they're not.
It's fully
actually at
AI
all.
generated.
The one of those looks like the mountain at Minnewanka slightly.
Like I think
that's about it.
the top
It's
right one kind of gives me
completely
temple vibes.
yeah, I don't
The
know.
top right one gives me like if you're looking at Rundle from
like,
Norquay
Norquay,
vibe. But yeah, these are all. There is no tunnel in Tunnel Mountain. They were
Yeah.
originally going. That was the plan, I think.
There is
Yeah,
no-
Banff has a lot of dumb named things.
It's crazy.
Tunnel Mountain, there's no tunnel.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
no,
the
the-
thing, though. It was supposed to
the
have a
going in?
tunnel through it.
Yeah, but name it after them.
Yeah. Hey,
What's
well,
a
it
tunnel
used to be
built?
called Sleeping Buffalo.
Yeah, I like that better.
Because like you can see it from my house pretty good. It looks
It's definitely more fitting.
Oh, big.
Also,
than it
like
normally is.
Banff Avenue Square is a circle.
yeah.
So I
Central
Town
Park is at the
Square.
end of town.
Yeah.
So I guess
What's going on?
It's at the end.
Yeah, true, man. Everything's all kind of wonky in this
Oh,
town.
God.
But that little central square, which is actually a circle, I was told that was once a gas station. The reason there's nothing there is
Oh.
because the soil is contaminated.
Oh, that makes
so
sense.
they've had to let it rest for like, I think 20 years or something, similar to the Husky,
Cool.
which got rebuilt. But I think that was a little different because they rebuilt the gas station there. But that one used to be a gas station way back in the day. And I think from what I heard, rumors around town is that there will be a building going up in that place eventually.
Cool.
Which obviously the Rose and Crown not super stoked on because it would kind of block their patio or the view from their patio. So I think there's ongoing
maybe, yeah.
issues with what's going to happen with that lot.
yeah,
I
makes
was
sense.
like, there's always a lot of like, you know, like marching bands and stuff end up in that area, right? Like you'll see
Yeah, like they
like,
do like
dancers and
the ice climbing stuff. I
Yeah,
think like
in the
the
winter, yeah.
yeah,
there's always something cool going on.
like
in
the
that.
First Nations dancers will go
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
their thing in there. It's just super cool.
They usually have some cool
some
stuff.
big
in there.
bands, like street bands and everything.
See, my like Canada Day, right? They had all those vendors in the parking lot on Bear Street. Like,
right.
if you shut off Bear Street, where the movie theater is, and then right across, like where the Magpie, like where that
Yeah.
art gallery is, just that one little block that
Yeah.
I thought was redone for pedestrians.
Yeah.
Then you can have that little square be an actual town square.
Yeah,
you know,
that's easy to do. Right?
and then like do your events and all that stuff there. And then you can still have people traveling down Banff Avenue. You still have a pedestrian zone.
You still got patios.
Well, you know, patios to the businesses that were affected by the revamp of Bear Street, which took
Yeah,
like
right.
3 or 4 years. Like,
yeah, I worked at the liquor store that whole time, and it was wild down there, dude. It was shaking bottles off the shelves. It was just,
right.
like,
So
insane.
it's like they can't really catch
That's
a break
a-
over there on
it's a-
Bear Street.
like 226 Bear, that building.
It was at Townhouse
Townhouse?
Liquor. Yeah,
Is that the one?
yeah,
Yeah.
I used to live right above that
Oh,
when it was
yeah.
being built, when it was being made
it's
into a liquor
wild.
store. It was hell.
I
Dude,
bet.
I
Like,
could hear every
It's
drill.
It's been 6 years of the Voyager across the street now being redone, and they
Yeah.
were at it again this morning.
Yeah.
They had like skid steer out there moving dirt piles around. It was just absolutely wild. It's never ending.
well, I think just because our construction season is so short here that it always gets compacted into
That's
the
true.
summer months. Unfortunately, it. And yeah,
miss
we
the
can't get
Voyager.
improvement without a little bit of pain, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
If I look like I'm from Ottawa, they've been doing the LRT, the light rail transit system there for 10 years now, and it's still
Oh,
not
jeez.
done, and it's still not working. So maybe something we have to look forward to with the train station redevelopment.
Could be cool.
Well, it's going to be really not cool until it's
for
really
a bit,
cool.
yeah, it's going to be
For
really
sure.
not cool for a bit, but that is what
Yeah,
it is.
R.I.P. Voyager.
No doubt.
Well, I think that's all we got for today. We want to thank you for coming by
Yeah,
here and
it's been
sharing your
great, guys.
story,
Yeah.
talking to us. It's always a good time having you around. Great catching up. It's been so long. I don't
Yeah.
think we've seen each other except for
Sure.
like a little high in the car
Yeah.
for years now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
been great to sit down and
Yeah,
chat.
man.
Hell yeah.
Nice to meet you, Manny.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That
Have a
was
couple
awesome,
laughs. Next week, we're working on getting Kian and Connor in. If you haven't heard of Kian and Connor, They're another local podcast that's kind of based out of Banff.
Nice.
A couple Australian dudes. I think one of them used to be either a rugby player or soccer player. Been diving into their stuff lately. They're great dudes, super funny.
Cool.
So we're gonna try to get them on next week, hopefully live. We're still trying to work out some work schedule stuff because we all have day jobs for now. If you want to sponsor the pod, please slide into the DMs. You can give them a follow at Kian and Connor. Tune into their stuff. They're great. I know I've been having a little yarn with them, trying to get them on.
Nice.
So we
Let's
hope
go.
get them in. Have a nice little chat. So yeah, give them a follow. Aaron, thanks again for taking the time.
So much.
It's been so fun this week. Like every week. See you next Tuesday.